All right, now, if you're a heavy user of the PNG format, PNG being the portable network graphics format, then I think you're going to be really excited by this one. Photoshop can now create much smaller PNG files more quickly when you save them at full resolution using the Save As command. Now, I've got this image still up on screen because I wanted to show you how those upsampled images compare to the real captured pixels. So what you're looking at right now are the real pixels. So we have some very fine hair details, including along the eyebrow and eyelashes. And these are the ones we upsampled in the previous movie. So not half bad. Anyway, I'm going to turn on the real pixels right there, and then I'll go up to the File menu and choose the Save As command. And I'm going to go ahead and call this guy Big Image, and then I'll set the format to PNG right there. And that's all you do. There's no other options to select. You have to bear in mind the PNG format does not support layers, and so as a result, we're going to save this image as a copy. And then I'll go ahead and click the Save button. Now, by default, file size is set to large file size, fastest saving. And the thing you have to bear in mind is back in previous versions of Photoshop, when you selected the faster method, you got no compression whatsoever. Now you get more compression than you did when using the slow setting. At any rate, I'm going to go ahead and set this option to large file size and then click OK. And you can see that it's happening extremely quickly. Again, this file is going to be smaller than the old slow setting in previous versions of Photoshop. And when I just did that a few moments ago, again, in the previous version of the program, it took several minutes to save. So that just whipped by. All right, let's repeat the save at a smaller file size by again going to the File menu and choosing the Save As command. And I'll call this guy Smaller File this time around. And I will change the file format once again to PNG. And then I'll click the Save button. And in response to this dialog box, I'll select Smallest File Size, Slowest Saving, and I'll click OK. Now, things do indeed go more slowly when you're saving at this setting, especially when you're saving a relatively large file like this one right here. But it's still going about twice as quickly as it did in previous versions of the software. All right, now to see what kind of difference this has made, I'll go up to the File menu and choose Browse and Bridge. If you're working along with me, you'll have to have installed Bridge using the Creative Cloud. And I'm able to view these guys this way because I'm looking at the last modified files first. I want you to see if you were to turn off compression back in the old days, back in a previous version of Photoshop, then that file that we just saved would be 33.84 megs. So a very large file. Whereas if you took the time necessary in order to compress the image, then it weighed in at 10 megabytes, so less than a third of the size. By comparison, the image that we saved very quickly is even smaller, just 9.2 megabytes, whereas the one that took more time to save weighs in at 8.56 megabytes. So not that big of a savings between the slower file and the faster ones, but it's a pretty significant difference here between the fast one, that's 9.2 megabytes, and the very, very slow one that I saved using Photoshop CC 2017. All right, so this is not normally the kind of feature I would show off because Adobe's naturally always claiming that the programs are running faster and more efficiently. But this is such a big deal that I wanted you to know about it. And it specifically affects PNG images that you create with Photoshop using the Save As command.